Hello and welcome to AWS Certified DevOps Professional course. In this video, we are going to discuss about version control and version control tools like Git and how to configure Git on the system and how to commit code into AWS code commit. So all these things we'll be doing in this video. So let's first get into what is version control. So, version control is a system that records changes to a file or set of files over time so that you can recall specific versions later. For the examples, you will use software source code as the files being version controlled through a in reality you can do this with a nearly any type of file on a computer. If you're a graphic or web designer and want to keep every version of an image or layout, a version control thing is a very wise thing to use for that. So it allows you to revert files back to a previous state, revert the entire project back to a previous state, compare changes over time, see who last modified something that might be causing a problem, who introduced an issue and when, and more. Using a version control system also generally means that if you screw things up or lose files, you can easily recover. So, in this video, in this diagram which is presented before you, we have two kind of version control system. Both are doing the same job, the centralized version control and distributed version control. But it just the distributed one is just adding a more layer to the commit and update process. So we'll be having a centralized repository where the codes will be present and the users or the work developers will be having a working copy on their system which they will update and they will commit that to the repository so that the changes will be updated in the centralized repository and with the version number it will be done so that if something goes wrong. And one more thing, like once they will be committing the code, it will be updating with the identity of that user who has made that changes. So that is how we'll be able to track who made the changes to the central repository code. So this is how we'll be keeping a track of what are the changes that are being done to the code and who is doing the changes. So this is all about the centralized and distributed version control. Now let's move on to some practical how to do this and how to configure Git and AWS code commit. So before moving to the installation part, let's just discuss what is the code commit service of AWS. So AWS Code Commit is a version control service hosted by Amazon Web Services that you can use to privately store and manage assets such as documents, source code, and binary files in the cloud. So this is just you can say a repository, version control repository where you store your document, your codes, your binary files, etc. So these are the benefits of Code Commit. It provides benefit from a fully managed service hosted by AWS. Store your code securely, easily scale your version control projects, store anything, anytime, integrate with other AWS and third party services, easily migrate files from other remote repositories. Use the Git tools you already know. So, all these things are the benefits of using it AWS Code Commit. This is some more information about AWS Code Commit, how does it work. So you can go through this document and get a clear view of how it works. So this is all about AWS Code Commit service. So now we will just go to Git, Git tool for we are using Windows. So I'll just download the Git tool for Windows. Let me check the first link. Yeah, this is the link for Git. I'll just click on it. It will start the downloading process automatically. Okay, let's just wait for a moment. I think we have to download it. Just a moment. Yeah, this is the correct link. So it's downloading the Git now. It may take some time. The file is of 35.3 MB. So I'll just pause the video for a few seconds until it's downloaded. Now, as you can see, the file is downloaded, and now we will just run this file and we'll install Git. So it's giving the path as C program files Git, so I'm fine with that. It's installing some Git bash here, Git UI, LFS support, all these things. It need not to be changed. That is fine. This is also fine. Yeah. Here we have to make a note, like we need to select this option, use Git from the Windows command prompt. So in some cases, you may get the first option as checked. So we need not to use that. We'll use the middle one, use Git from the Windows command prompt. Here it's already selected, so we'll not make any change. Okay, this is also default. We need not to make any change. This is also fine. This is also fine. This is fine. Okay, again here, we need not to enable Git credential manager. We'll use AWS code commit and we'll configure the credentials ourselves. So we'll just uncheck this and then we'll click on install. So let it install on the system. We'll pause the video until it is installed completely. So as you see, it is successfully installed. So we'll just click on finish and this Git is installed on your system.